Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to take a quick look at the game Ingenious. Ingenious is for 1 to 4 players, ages 8 and up, and the average play time is about 45 minutes. In this game, players are going to be tasked with laying down tiles in order to score on 6 different colored shapes. But before I get into all that, let's just take a quick moment to look at the components and how the game is played. Okay, now as far as the components are concerned, you've got one game board, you've got some tile racks here, you've got one bag, which is meant to hold these tiles, and each tile has 2 colored shapes on them. And finally, you have a scoreboard of sorts over here, along with pegs that go on each of the individual columns. Okay, now gameplay is very simple. At the beginning of the game, each player will receive a tile rack, and they'll also receive 6 of these tiles. And as mentioned before, each tile has 2 different colored symbols on them, though there are some that have the same symbol listed on them, like this one. Now, during a player's turn, they'll simply pick one of their tiles from their rack and place it on the board, and then they'll go ahead and score the shapes that are on those tiles based on how the board looks. Basically, what they're going to try and do, there's 6 different pegs here, one representative of each of the colors listed on these tiles. And they're going to try and raise these pegs up the scoreboard here in order to get as high as they can. And their final score at the end of the game will be whatever the lowest peg ends up being. So let's say that one player managed to get their red, green, blue, orange, and yellow pegs all the way up to the 17, but they only managed to get their purple peg up to 10. Their final score, hypothetically, in that game would be 10. So the objective really is to advance all 6 of these colors while not leaving one particular one behind. Now, as far as the board itself, it's basically broken up into hexagon spaces. And if you'll notice, there are 2 shaded areas along the outside. Basically, if you're playing a 2-player game, you'll use only the white area. If you're playing a 3-player game, you'll use the next ring out, which is shaded gray. And then if you're playing a 4-player game, you'll also include this darker rung along the outside. Okay, now as far as scoring is concerned, it can be a little complicated, but once you get a few turns under your belt, you'll get a good feel of how to do it. Basically, what will end up happening is once you place a tile, you'll score everything within a direct line of that particular shape. So let's say that one player put this blue and yellow tile right here. Now, you'll have to look at each tile individually to see what they score. In this case, this player would score for all shapes matching going in each direction in a straight line. In this case, there are 2 blue tiles right below the original place piece. So in this case, the player would earn 2 points for blue, and that would be it for that. Now, as far as the yellow tile, again, in a straight line going out, there's only 1 tile, so the player would earn 1 point for yellow. So at the end of the turn, the player would earn 2 points for blue and 1 point for yellow. And just to give you another example, let's say that another player decided to place this piece right here. Now this would earn, let's see, starting with orange, each direction, there's only one direction to look at. You've got 1, 2, 3 here. So 3 points for orange and 1, 2, 3 for blue. So this player would earn 3 points for orange and 3 points for blue. And then they would simply mark that on their scoreboard by taking the peg out and bumping up their pegs appropriately. Now, just something I'd quickly like to mention before I go into a practice round. I have an issue with the way these are designed. I mean, I'm sure some people don't mind them, but on occasion these can be difficult to, pick up and plop back in. Pegs go flying all over the place. They can be tough to get out. So what I've done is, in Excel, I've designed my own little score sheet, one for each color: red, green, blue, orange, yellow, purple. And as you score points, you simply either check mark or place an X in the appropriate block. and that basically takes the place of the scoreboard and pegs. And at the end of the game, you just simply look to see what number is the lowest, and you write it in the top left-hand corner up here, and boom, you're done. So you don't have to worry about pegs flying all over the place and so on and so forth. So if you see me using this during our play session, you'll know what it is. This is something I created, although I do have a downloadable PDF on my website in case you're interested. And I have a link in the below description in case you're interested. Alright, just to quickly illustrate, Vinny, Carly, and I are going to go ahead and play through a few practice rounds. So, Junior, you can go ahead and go first. Alright. Now, if he were to do that, he would score 1 point. This one would go in every direction, not counting the other tile. So, with this tile, it would go out this way, and he'd score 1 point for this. But for this tile, he would score nothing. Even though there's a tile next to it, this is the original tile, and it would not count. So he would only get 1 point. So do you like it there, or do you want to? Okay. So you're going to stick with 1 point. So instead of using the scoreboard, like I said, I'm just going to put 1x on under the green column for him. All right. All right, Carly, your turn. All right. So what would you score for that one? You've got, for this tile, you've got 1, 2, and then 3, and then 4. So, yeah, 4 for Carly, under green. Alright, and she gets to pick up a replacement tile, and then I'll go. Alright, now I would score nothing for orange, but I would get, from this tile here, 1, 2, 3. So I would get 3 for green. 1, 2, 3. And then I'll pick up a new tile. And then Junior would go. Alright, now for that one, he would get 1, 2, 3, 4 for green, and 1 for blue. So 1, 2, 3, 4 for green, and 1 for blue. And you get to pick up. Okay, I jumped ahead just a little bit. Carly went ahead and played this piece, which gives her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for red, and I'll get to green in a minute. But that actually bumps her up to the top of the chart. 3, 4, 5. And when a player does that, they get to take an extra turn with the remaining tiles that they have. But let me first count up green. We've got 1 here, so 1, 2, 3 for green. All right, and you're up to 17 on green, so one more. Yeah. There you go. All right, so Carly would get to take an extra turn. All right, now which one did you place? That one?
4 blue and 1 orange.
Okay, 4 blue, 1 orange. All right. Okay, now there's one other rule that I didn't mention yet. If your score, your player rack contains no colors of the lowest color of your scoreboard. In this example, orange is my lowest color and I have no orange tiles. At the end of this turn, I can swap out all 6. So just keep that in the back of your mind when you see me do what I'm about to do. Alright, so let me go ahead and play... Alright, with that one I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 purple. Let me do that first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yellow, 1, 2, 3. So 3 yellow. Alright, and now because I don't have any... Well, actually, let me draw first. Alright, actually I do, so I'm not going to swap that out yet. Alright. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and play this one. 2 red. So I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 red, I think that pushes me. It does. So I get to take an extra turn. I will place this one here. And that grants me 1, 2, 3, 4 orange.
My turn.
It is now, yes.
So it'll be 1, 2, and then 3, 4.
Alright, which one did you put down now?
A blue.
Okay, so 4 blue.
Yeah.
Alright, and then Carly will take the last move. Alright, and she gets a lot of points for that. 1 for that, and then for this one, 1, 2. Wait, where'd you go?
Right here. So 1, 2, and then for this one, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Gotcha.
Which I finished off orange.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, she finished off orange, but feel free to make an extra move. You're not going to find one. Okay, so at the end of the game, let me see if I can focus in on this. Might be a little difficult. Junior's lowest was, he had all of these done up here, but his yellow was 5. So his final score is 5. I'll write that up here. Alright, Carly's had, she had 5 complete rows done, but her yellow was at 7. So her final score is 7, and I only had 3 rows done, and my lowest was yellow at 14. Alright, good game. And there you have it. That's just a very brief look at the game Ingenious. You can check out my review at www.dadsgamingaddiction.com, or you can simply click on the link in the below description. That'll take you there as well. This is Vince. Special thanks to Carly and Vinny for helping me out. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.